As if family dysfunction wasn't already enough to handle. Now, due to COVID fear, we're dealing with a whole new level of family problems. Hi, I'm Reiki Rita Roberts. Welcome to this week's new episode of Functional Family Friday. Right? This video was actually inspired by a good friend of mine who texted me this morning and said, Rita, help. Seems like there's a great divide going on in families due to fear, and choices that everyone's making. Seems to be separating families versus bringing them together. So today's video is how to survive the war on family love. Because what I see happening, sadly, is a divide between whether you're focused on fear or whether you're focused on faith and love, right? So sadly, many people are reaching out to me with answers to deal with the obvious, right? Here are some of the things that they're challenged with. Offending people, differences in opinions, separation and loneliness, okay? Not being around their families, the fear of not being able to support their families, financial devastation, loss of jobs, there's fear there. The breaking up of families and relationships, people that you thought would be there for you through this crisis are dealing with their own stuff and maybe they dropped the ball. I know that my couple of people who have lost relationships, divorces are on the increase. The anxiety of not knowing what the future holds, that's another thing. Like we have a crystal ball. I have a friend who's a psychic and she's extremely busy because people need to know what's happening and why is this happening and will we come out of it. They're dealing with despair and hopelessness and how to help their children combat depression, anxiety, suicide attempts. That we all know by now that suicide's on the increase. I've also heard from my son-in-law who works in, removing people, dead bodies and people that have passed on, that the increase in failure to thrive has shot right up. That's what they're calling brokenheartedness, loneliness, desperation. It's so sad what's going on right now, right? You can't deny that the level of fear in the world has risen right now. I mean, we've always been functioning in fear, but this is to the nth degree. So a lot of families are struggling with more dysfunction than ever due to the fear, the uncertainty, the mistrust, the anger, the sadness. A lot of this is pushing families over the edge, okay? And I know firsthand what it feels like to be ostracized by one of your children or a family member. We're all feeling it some degree, and there's a great separation that's happening. And I know that even knowing what I know, I felt defeated, overwhelmed by sadness, that potentially my family might be breaking up, and it broke my heart, So once I got over the overall fear, and that's the other thing, you have to allow yourself to go through that, to feel those feelings of anger, sadness. And my recommendation, journal it out. Talk to someone that you can trust with your emotions. I'm available if you need help as well. So thankfully, through time, space, meditation, prayer, if I'll tell you one thing, if I didn't have my faith right now, I probably wouldn't be standing here in my conviction to help other people. Because what's going on in the world right now, none of us can really comprehend the caliber, the secrecy, the lies, the deception that's going on in the world. And I mean, we're only being told what, government wants us to know. There's probably a lot more going on than meets the eye. Okay? So if you're relating to this message today and need to know, how do you survive the war and the separation that's going on in family love? Okay, well, the answer is easy, but the actual, solution to the problem is a little bit more difficult. So, by doing the work, let me just put it out there. The answer to this that's going on right now and how to keep your family intact through all this fear is by holding on to love. Okay? And I know that might sound loopy or flaky or not good enough for some people, but I can tell you as an energy healer, there's only two major frequencies that people operate in. They either operate in fear or they operate in love. Okay? Now there's a lot of different things that fall under those two umbrellas, but those are the two systems. Okay? If you stop and think of all the people in your family right now, especially the ones you're being challenged with, they're probably operating in fear. Okay? So I want you to hold some compassion right now, because even though they're name calling, they're disconnecting, they're being nasty to you right now, they're doing it out of fear. Deep down inside, they truly still love you, but fear has taken over. Okay? And if they're doing things by not letting you see their children or things like that, it's only because they believe that they're doing right by them. That they believe in their heart, this is their way to protect their children. So they're doing it with the intention of love, but it's not coming up as loving, okay? And that's what happens. So that's the power you have over someone that's fearful. If you love yourself, love others, have faith, believe in something bigger than what's going on in the world, then you're going to ride through this. However, most people that have lost their faith and got connected to just what's happening in the world, they're becoming overcome by fear. Okay? They're letting fear control them. Okay? And there's no right or wrong. It's just different frequencies of love, right? Some people are consumed by fear. Some people are not. There's different levels of fear, okay? So if you're dealing with a challenging, family member, their level of fear has become so heightened that it's out of control, okay? You got to remember, we're also influenced not by, what's just being said or done in the world right now, or whether you're vaxxed or not vaxxed, or, all this happy stuff. There's a frequency and there's an unconscious thing that's happening unconsciously that's affecting us as well. Because remember, we're all like magnets. We give and take energy every second of the day. So the frequency that's out on the planet right now is all about fear. So we're being influenced by fear without even knowing it. So if you already suffer with poor emotional health, you already have fear around you, then you're going to be more influenced by fear, okay? So basically, read out, what are you getting at? Here's what I'm getting at. Love trumps fear all the time, okay? The answer to winning the war on family fear is to use love as your suit of armor, not more fear. Any moron can do that, okay? If you are angry and say nasty things to me, sure, I can retaliate. I could drop the F-bomb. I could say all kinds of nasty things too, because we all have that within us. But you know what? That's not power. That's weakness. So if you want to be empowered, you have to hold your ground. That doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. That's a whole other thing. That just means that you have emotional boundaries around you. You know how much you can take and not take, when to leave, when to stay, what to say, what not to say. That you've got the emotional intelligence because you're grounded in love and you have that self-confidence. Where people that are fear-based envy that. Okay, so rather than run away, rather than push back, rather than react, be an example of what you want that family member to see. Stay strong in confidence, in love, in emotional empowerment, so that you can be an example of what they should be aiming for versus following the crowd of fear. Okay, so don't challenge them back. Put your armor on, which is love, and deflect all that stuff that's coming at you. Okay? Like I always say, nothing works in the absence of love. Not your job, not your diet, not your home, not your relationships, not your family. So if you want your family to work, clearly you have to put more love in it than fear. Okay? All right, so, yeah. Again, love is the strongest energetic frequency there is out there, right? Very few can operate in that frequency, all right? So fear may look stronger right now because that's all we're hearing and seeing, not the love out there. They're not showing us the love out there. They're showing us more to be afraid of, okay? So don't get caught up in the media hype, the social media, the drama sharing. Don't, okay? Show love, understanding, respect for other people's opinions, whether you agree with it or not, okay? I got my own opinions as well. Not everyone's going to agree with it, and I'm not going to agree with everyone else's. But if you're confident, again, with yourself and who you are, you're not going to be threatened by that. You're not going to be challenged by that. Just let people be, okay? Use your inner strength, your intuition, your guidance, and your emotional intelligence, okay? And that's, not everyone can do that, okay? So when you feel threatened or you want to react and your first gut feeling is, I want to get that person, don't. I want you to step back. Don't react. Don't send the email. Don't send the text. Breathe. Take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in, calm, and breathe out the stress and the anger. After 3 breaths, your body will start to naturally ground and relax. Okay? Step outside. It's even better because you get earth energy as well. Then what I want you to do is, while they're sorting out their fear-based shit, okay, whatever it is, because remember, everyone's at different levels of fear, okay? They may not overcome it. They might, they may not. But the more you give them reason to be angry, they're not going to snap out of it. So you want to give them angry to see the love in you, not the fear and the anger in you, okay? While they're doing that, give them the space, okay, and work on yourself. That means keep being you. Keep being as authentic as possible, okay? Don't play the fake game. Be as authentic as possible. Be loving, exercise, meditate, pray, go for walks, practice acts of kindness. Keep raising the love level. And guess what? Like honey, like bee to honey, honey to a bee, whatever, you're going to attract other people that feel that energy around you and want that love. Because remember, at the end of the day, we're all in search for love. That's all we're doing, right? Even people that are fear-based, deep down underneath all that fear, they just want to be loved, right? And they want to do what everybody expects them to do to get that love. But you already know love. So keep practicing love and being that example and be in that space so that people, trust me, they'll gravitate back to that, right? And there'll always be those that never will. There'll always be those ones that are quite happy getting energy by being a victim, being unhappy, being dramatic, being a bully. You know, there'll always be those people. Some people you just can't, you can't reach, okay? So you have to accept that as well. All right, so I hope you found today's video helpful to give you some options and some strategy and understanding about why there's this attack on families and a great divide and fear versus love and how you can combat that as well, okay? So from my heart to yours, God bless. I'm going to attach a link to the oh my goodness, the Toxic Family Survival Guide. This guide's going to help you stay grounded while you're dealing with those toxic sort of energies in your family. So please feel free to download the guide. Also, if you'd like to speak to me about family stress recovery, I'm offering free 30 minutes to speak on Zoom. We can speak privately about your situation and how I can help. Okay? So stay grounded, stay hopeful. Know that this will pass too. God bless you and your family, and all is well. See you next time on Functional Family Fridays. Bye for now.